But one of the things I really learned is to recognize when something doesn't work, and to accept at some point that even though you've invested time and effort in something, sometimes you have to give up and focus on what works. So I also learned that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting concept. I mean, because we know that if anything in science, most of the things are actually not working.
Absolutely.
Rather than working. So I mean, maybe you pointed out the ability to actually see quite early what it doesn't work, but let me ask you this question. I mean, do you think there's some value in also describing what it doesn't work, if it's useful not to go in the same direction or to just inform of what has been explored?
Yeah. So it's the age-old question of publishing negative results, right? And of course, when something, when you talk to scientists, very often people tell you, oh yeah, this or that technique doesn't really work because I've tried it in my lab, a lot of people have tried it in their labs, and by word of mouth, it doesn't work. But then if you're not plugged into the right circles, you might not know, and you might try it yourself and waste your time, right? It could be that 50 people waste their time independently on the same thing that simply is not working. I don't have a great solution to that. Of course, now, publication is no longer constrained by journals as much as before. We can just put stuff online. So there are a lot of platforms that are being tried for micro publications, and those are good, especially for sharing, I think, negative results. I haven't tried that very much yet, but I think that's for the future. It has huge potential. What we often do is that we put in the methods as much as we can of how we developed the methods and what we tried that failed. So if we tried a lot of treatments or approaches that turned out to not be the right way, we try to mention it very explicitly in the methods. We try to have a bit of a narrative aspect. So that's the way we found it to share negative results, but there are others.